So we're going live on the live streams right now for the video on the video part of this program, and we're just going to insert our standard intro here. Hi, this is Jim from Safety Wars. Before we start the program, I want to make sure everyone understands that we often talk about OSHA and EPA citations, along with some other regulatory actions from other agencies, legal cases, and criminal activity. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Proposed fines are exactly that, and they are often litigated, reduced, or vacated. We use available public records, news accounts, and press releases. We cannot warranty or guarantee the details of any of the stories we share, since we are not directly involved with these stories, at least not most of the time. Enjoy the show.
This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
And from the border of liberty and prosperity and the highway to the north, this is Safety Wars for this President's Day, Monday, February 19th, 2024. 37 more days to opening day for most baseball teams, Major League. Full team practices started this past week. I think today for a lot of teams. Looking forward to that baseball season. How's everybody doing out there tonight? So I got wrapped up in doing things for a client. So if you're on the Safety FM portion of this, we started with an encore broadcast, an intro to leadership. I was discussing with one of my colleagues yesterday. Yes, I do work on Sundays sometimes. A lot of the stuff that we do here. And we started doing some more training. This past weekend, on Saturday, we did a session with a client on defensive driving. And they're putting together an LMS, learning management system, and they wanted some defensive driving course. So I said, you know what, I can do that. So that's what we did. She says, you should advertise that. Well, we're advertising it now, defensive driving. And, but anyway, we got all, we got all wrapped up in what we were doing today. And I said, you know what, it's like 5 to 8. Let me put on an encore broadcast here. Safety FM part leadership. I'm going to re-release that. Just keep an eye on our social media pages on Facebook, on LinkedIn, Jim Posel, and some of the other ones. Now, over late last week was the 1-year anniversary of the East Palestine train wreck. Later this week, we're going to go over with an update on that. Some pretty interesting things going on there with that. Still not resolved. They're doing a cleanup there. And I'm going to stand by what I said last year on Coast to Coast AM with Ian Punnett, rest in peace, Ian, was that the only thing to really resolve this is going to be they're going to need to go and buy all the properties. Because this is going to be like the never-ending story, almost like some of our programs here, the never-ending story on everything with a lot of this stuff. But anyway, we'll have a little bit of an update. It's pretty interesting, but we're going to go through, since we have about 24 minutes left in the program, are some news and everything else. So I'm going to do a share screen here like we normally do. And hold on. All right. So this is from NTSB begins investigation Wednesday into fatal CSX workplace accident. This is out of Roanoke Rapids. Where is it? From the Daily Herald. Roanoke Rapids National Transportation Safety Board, that's the NTSB, began its investigation Wednesday after the fatal death of a CSX track maintenance employee. This is another railway accident. According to Chief C. Shane Gouillant of the Roanoke Rapids Police Department. The department responded to a call at 1:30 p.m. due to a workplace accident. And goes into here, and it does not really... Hold on. Pardon me. Really doesn't go into a lot of what happened here. I'm sure we're going to be finding out. But again, railway accidents still happening. Let's go on over to our news releases. U.S. Labor Department cites 2 employers after a 39-year-old worker suffers fatal fall injuries at a Fort Lauderdale work site. A federal investigation into the death of a 39-year-old maintenance employee found that the 2 contractors responsible for the job site could have prevented the incident by communicating and following safety rules designed to prevent an unexpected startup of machinery. So this sounds like it's a lockout-tagout issue. And let's see what we're going to get here. Investigators from the Department of Social found that on August 4, 2023, a worker employed by a certain company out of Birmingham, Alabama, for maintenance and repair contractor was hired by a cement company. And he was performing repairs on a screw conveyor system mounted on top of a cement silo. Despite the equipment being locked down and de-energized, the employer made the decision to remove the locks temporarily and energize the equipment to rotate the screw conveyor shaft to align the equipment for repair. As a result, the worker was caught in the conveyor and suffered fatal wounds. So I've worked with a lot of cement, temporary cement plants and similar equipment. And this, again, you're relying on with that safety, the hierarchy of controls, right? We know the hierarchy of controls. You eliminate the hazard, substitute, then engineer the hazard out, then administrate, and then PPE. And as you get further down that list, administrative controls and PPE, you're relying solely on the worker to follow the rules. And this is why a lot of these lockout tagout things never get a lot of times the rules are broken. Why? You're relying on rules. Rules are administrative controls. Administrative controls are not reliable. Here we had, and I'm sure it will become apparent once we get into some of the other details here. I don't read these prior. Usually I don't read these prior to. So you're getting my visceral reaction to all of these things. Usually when you're dealing with these types of situations, things happen where they want to adjust things to get into the right position for repairing. What happened here, I think that the worker probably was not communicated with, or the worker might have said, "Oh yeah, I'm okay," and then they turn it on. That's with it. There seems to be a communication problem here. So OSHA cited the company for 3 serious violations for failing to remove employees from areas surrounding unguarded screw conveyors. So they had a guard off. Failing to establish specific procedures for controlling hazardous energy, and failing to inform the host employer of their lockout-tagout procedures. So this was a conversation I had this morning. And yes, I was working this morning with a client who wanted to do business a new client who wanted to do business in the United States, where I detailed that, under the multi-employer multi-employer citation policy of OSHA, if you're the general contractor or the host employer, this sounds like a general contractor here, was not, you can be held liable for this because you have to follow up with your subcontractors, what the procedures are. So let's see what it is for. So for the employer, this is out of here. And again, I do not mention the names here, usually, with this, unless it's so obvious, right? Or something like that. Normally I don't. But again, all this stuff has to be, gets litigated, gets vacated, gets negotiated, and all the other types of things. So this is the proposed penalties, not what final penalties and proposed things are. So citation item 1, this was under the lockout tagout. I called it. The energy control procedures do not clearly and specifically outline the scope, purpose, authorization, rules, and techniques to be utilized for the control of hazardous energy, including but not limited to items here. So this was at an area and employees are exposed to amputation electrical hazards, and that the employer did not ensure that lockout tagout procedures for the south screw described the scope, type, and magnitude of participating hazardous energies, or steps, or anything else. That was $11,292. Here we have the next one, citation 1, item 2. This is for $16,131. Another lockout tagout violation. When the locks or lockout or tagout devices were temporarily removed from the energy isolating device and the machine or equipment was energized to test or position the machine, equipment, or component thereof, the employees were not removed from the machine or the equipment area in accordance with paragraph E2 of the section. So, again, they removed guards here, removed lockout and tagouts, which is basically, your guard here. That's your procedure. Again, a rule. Citation 1, item 3, serious, is when outside servicing personnel were engaged in activities in a facility, the on-site employer and the outside employer did not inform each other of their respective lotto procedures. Under lockout tagout, that's a rule. Everybody on site, the host employer, and everybody else has to go out there and they have to know what the lockout tagout procedures are. That's $11,292. So this is a proposed total $38,000, and a man lost his life. Let that sink in. Man lost his life, $38,000 in penalties. Moving on to the host employer. Let's see what they got them for. So the host, again, these are proposed penalty citations. Citation 1, item 1, type of violation serious. It's, again, no procedures, $14,518. Citation 1, item 2, no periodic inspection of the energy control procedures at least annually. So there's no, again, it was their equipment apparently. No periodic periodic inspection, $14,518. Citation 1, item 3, and this is the communication thing that was in the last one. You're not communicating with each other. $14,518 for a grand total of $43,554. So this is a prime example, multi employer citations for one incident. So I covered this, I think, last week, and here, but we're going to do it again. U.S. Department of Labor's OSHA has cited a New Jersey contractor for again exposing workers to fall hazards. OSHA has inspected the company 5 times since 2016 and has been added to the Severe Violators Enforcement Program. And again, now, I did a little bit of research here. Now, they have a Facebook page. You could go look it up. I have screenshots of the photos on there. They actually have, so what, they got fined here, going down here. We'll get into what it was. Well, let me comment on this prior. I'm going to zoom all the way down here. $1,017,248 even. Because you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 willful and 4 serious violations. We'll go into what those are. And when was the time of the inspection? Because I believe that there was a range here. And let me come up here. Inspection date 7/25/2023, 7/26/2023. The issuance date was 1/24, which means at a certain point they had an opening conference, probably on this 7/25 when they showed up, and a closing conference at some point thereafter, and where they told them, hey, these are the violations. Now, here's what I don't understand. If OSHA tells you what the violations are, okay, during the closing conference, they're going to probably, and the many that I've been involved with, they say, well, hey, this is what the problems we are. This is likely what you're going to be cited for. This, and this. All right. And then that's what it's going to be. Do you then try to resolve that stuff? Probably a good idea to resolve that stuff. What do you think they did? You're going to love this one. They went out and put up pictures on their social media pages on Facebook of them doing some of the stuff that was in the social citation. After, and where, I don't know when the pictures were taken, but they appeared after this investigation. Perhaps that might have something to do with the thing, with the citations here. Maybe, I don't know. So here you go. No hard hats. $10,140. Right? No hard hats. No head protection. Scaffolds not fully flanked. $16,131. Here we had citation on item 3. Ladders, right? Getting access to the scaffold. $16,131. Citation 1, item 4. Again, this is no fall protection, not a complete scaffold, it looks like. Right? $16,131. Here we have citation 2, item 1, a willful, no eye or face protection, $152,100. And they had been cited on this again, right? And they abated this, right, the day of, right? Citation 2, item 2, fall protection, 6 feet or higher, $161,323. Citation 2, item 3, fall protection, again, willful, $161,000. Again, they got them for every employee. You go to their social media page, they have photos of their guys doing this. And they wonder why, and they're probably saying that those sons of guns over at OSHA, they did X, Y, and Z. Well, dude, you got cited for this stuff 4 times. They come out there a 5th time, and then you put it on their social media that you all of the violations, basically, here. I don't know what to say. I don't think that this is going to work out so good for them on this. I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Sure, we'll figure it out here. So when was this issued? On the 24th. They probably already had their informal conference on here. And, I don't know. So what's the moral of the story? One, now it's like that movie Liar, Liar with Jim Carrey, where he just to review the movie was, for whatever reason, he could not, his son makes a wish. My father has to be able to tell the truth, right, for whatever period of time. And the father is a lawyer, right? And he was a lying lawyer in the movie. And not all lawyers are lying. I know lawyers. They're very great people. They don't go out there and wantonly lie. But in the movie, he was. And he has to tell the truth. And a client calls him up and he says, no. And the client asks him on the other end of the phone, hey, what can I, what can I do here? I got arrested. I got this. I got that. blah, 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 blah. And he says, stop breaking the law. Right? Expletive. What could you get? How could I stop this from getting cited from OSHA? How about you stop breaking the law? I don't know. And don't put up pictures of you breaking the law on social media will be the next one, right? Here we have our last story tonight is Illinois construction contractor faces $264,000 in proposed fines for again failing to protect employees from deadly fall hazards. Bureau of Labor Statistics reports blah, blah, blah. Okay, going on. Let's see what we have. OSHA cited the company. We're going to zoom on down here. All right. Citation 1, item 1, type of violation serious. Ladders were used for purposes other than the purpose for which they were designed. That's a new one. A-frame step ladder to access or egress the roof. Okay, so here we have an A-frame step ladder. Right? A-frame step ladder is also known as a step ladder. It's supposed to be fully open, legs spread, the things locked. I forget what you call them. The spreader bars locked. All right. And you're supposed to use the set of stairs, not go above the thing. And basically, they're using an A-frame step ladder to access the egress of the roof. Now, there is a company out there today where about 5 years ago, they started to make a combination ladder. The ladder is a lean-to ladder and is an A-frame ladder. And it works in either configuration. And it only costs like $30 more than a regular step ladder. They got whacked for $12,676. I think it would have been cheaper to buy the ladder. I don't know. Right? That would have made sense. Citation 1. So that was a serious. Citation 2, item 1, willful. They're on a roof, 6 foot higher, again, construction, no fall protection. All right, this was willful, and they got whacked with $161,323. Now, if you look here, all right, so they have, since this is a willful, the employer, right, and it goes here. At one address, they were employees engaged in carpentry activity not protected from fall hazards while working at an elevation of up to approximately 20 foot 7 inches above the ground. This was, they could have gotten this on a repeat, probably, but here you go. The company was previously cited for a violation of this occupational safety and health standard, which was contained in OSHA inspection, blah, blah, in June. All right, at another address. And then again, they were cited in February 27th, 2023, at another address for this. And they were cited in March 5th, 2021, with another violation at another address. They're again in 2017 at another place for the same thing. And the list goes on and on and on. How many times they were cited? $161,000. I don't know. Citation 3, item 1, repeat serious violation. 1926-503. No training program. By the way, we do training here for this, for fall protection. 845-269-5772. We will come to your facility and do this. 88,000. We'll do it for a lot less than, I tell you what, they got citation for 88,000. I'll do it for $87,000. Why don't you give me the money? I'll take care of your problem. I mean, I don't get it. Citation 4, item 1, other than serious. This was no forklift training. So apparently they had, right, Right. There was no demonstration as well I'm looking at for this. They might have had the training, they might have had it online, but they did not have an actual in-person demonstration. $1,423. Incredible. Huh? So that's what we have here for Safety Wars. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back tomorrow, God willing. If things work out okay, and we're going to have another fun-filled Safety Wars. So for Safety Wars, this is Jim Polzel, and we're going to do our share screen, and here we go. Our regular share screen for the end of the program. There we go.
Are those of the host and its guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the company. Examples of analysis discussed within this podcast are only examples. They should not be utilized in the real world as the only solution available, as they are based only on very limited and dated open source information. Assumptions made within this analysis are not reflective of the position of the company. No part of this podcast may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, mechanical, electronic, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of the creator of the podcast, Jay Allen.